Greetings, my brothers and sisters. I greet you today in the matchless name of Jesus. I thank you. My name is Reverend Dr. Freeman Gallmon, and I'm the pastor of the Mount Moriah Missionary Baptist Church in the beautiful city of Gainesville, Florida. And I thank you so much for tuning in to me today. I want to also take this opportunity to thank the members of Mount Moriah Baptist Church for continuing in this pandemic, but for continuing to support the ministry. Thank you very much. I can't thank you enough for that. But, however, I'd like for you to turn your attention to St. John chapter 15. And this is a familiar text because you've heard this 100 times. Where Jesus is talking, and Jesus says this in John chapter 15, verse 1. I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit, he purges it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Jesus is saying to them today, my Father is the vine, and we are the branches. Now he's talking about our connection to God and how in our connection to him we will have no need for nothing, because everything that you need, as long as you're connected to the vine, God will supply it for you. And I want to talk to you today from the alreadiness of God. The alreadiness of God. In other words, whatever you need, God has already provided it. The alreadiness of God. When Jesus did the Sermon on the Mount, I want to go there, and that's in the 5th chapter of Matthew. Verse 14, Jesus, the people have gathered, and the people are looking for a light. In this dark world, they were looking for a light. And that's the verse in verse 14 that Jesus tells them, what you looking for, you are that. He said, you are the light of the world. You don't have to go nowhere. You don't have to become. God has already made you a light. Isn't that interesting? Mm-hmm. What they were looking for, Jesus told them, you already are that. You already are a light. And you are the light of the world. And so all you got to do is live in that reality and embrace that reality. You need to, if it says you are the light, you need to walk in the light. You need to be the light and live in that reality and embrace it. Because if you start to embrace it, then you could live in that light, and then you can shine. You will be able to shine. And then people will begin to see what God has created, and then they would give glory to the source of that light. Once they see you shining, they'll see what God has created, and guess what? They will give glory to the source of that light. But one thing I want to see, we've got to encompass the fact that What I need, God has already made me. You don't have to go nowhere to get it. You already are. I told a story about the tiger cub that his mother died in childbirth, giving birth to him. Well, the goats found him and they raised him. But the king tiger came upon him and said, you don't have to live like this, because I'm going to tell you who you are. You are a tiger. And so you don't have to go nowhere to be a tiger. Nobody's got to make you a tiger. You already are a tiger. And all you got to do is walk in it, live in it, and embrace it. Amen. And somehow, we've been taught in our learning system that what we need is out there, and we have to get it from out there and bring it in here. And what Jesus is saying, you don't have to go out there and get this light. You already have the light. And sometimes we're trying to get something out there that is already on the inside of us. We are looking for something that is out there. And when Jesus has said, when God made you, he put it in you. Something outside which is already inside. This is called the breakthrough to the alreadiness of God. In other words, God has already done this in your life. He's already provided this for you. So all you need to do is open up your eyes and look and see that God has already did this for you. We need to open our eyes and see God. We need to just open our eyes and see the glory of God, that God is already with us. Now this is something I want you to remember. The tragedy is not the absence of God. The tragedy is that we are unaware of God who is already present. Let me say that again. The tragedy is not the absence of God, but the unawareness of the God that is present. God is not far from any of us. He is the God that we live and we move and have our being. He's that God. Paul was talking to the Athenians, and this is in Acts chapter, help me Holy Spirit, Acts chapter 17. And Paul is talking to the Athenians, and he has gone on Mars Hill, and they have a statue to every god that there is. And then they have a statue to the unknown God. So Paul told them, if you could just open your eyes to the alreadiness of what already is, you could be all right. Let me just read for you a few verses. And I'll start with verse 26 of Acts chapter 17. And I'm going to start with verse 26. And had made of one blood all nations of men, for to dwell on all the face of the earth, and has determined the times before appointed and the bounds of their habitation. Listen to this. He already has done this. Paul is telling them that I just need you all to rest, abide in the alreadiness of God. God has already done this. Verse 27 of chapter 17. That they should seek the Lord, if haply they might feel after him, and find him, though he be not far from every one of us. God is not far from one of us. It's not the absence of God. It's the unawareness of his presence. Verse 28, for in him, listen to this, in the alreadiness of God, in that we live, in the alreadiness of God we move, in the alreadiness of God we have our being, and as certain also of your own poets have said, for we are also his offspring. Ladies and gentlemen, I am one of the offsprings of God, and I know it. Thank you so much for listening to us. And please tune back in. I want to leave this with you. I cannot wait for all of us to get back together again. I cannot tell you how I long for that. But there's an old Baptist song, and I remember this from a little boy. It say, when we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing that will be. When we all see Jesus, we will sing and shout the victory. Thank you so much.
Amen.